Moder, J Moder, J Moder, J Moder, recognize Heckler House, Heckler House. Oh, 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 oh.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, this past week, I didn't see anything really major except for, everybody talking about the, the Supreme Court finally getting rid of affirmative action or whatever. This law should have been done with a long time ago. It's very discriminatory and racist. And I just thought it was funny to see the far left and the Democrats throwing a fit over it. Especially black people. I was like, what the this is literally racist towards you people. And you're fighting for it. It makes no sense whatsoever. They got their ass hat on backwards. Really weird. Anyways, it was a dumb law. It was a racist law. It's very discriminatory and very, like I said, very racist towards the black and Latino community. So, it needed to be done away with. The fact that they're saying, oh, we're not good enough, we got to have a leg up. We can't do it on our own. That's racist. But whatever. The black community and the far left are just, some of them are just out there. They just don't get it. They've been so indoctrinated in craziness that they fight for it all the time. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, that's all I've seen this past week. Moving on. I want to talk to you about a television show I just got done watching not too long ago. I've got a few shows that I've got backed up I got to get done. I've been holding off. This is one of them. I watched a show called The Highwayman. It was done in the 80s. It was a sci-fi television show. Sort of. I mean, it was sci-fi, but it wasn't like really over the top. It's basically, I don't know, it's supposed to be set sometime in the near future. They've done away with, like, not quite, but almost the whole U.S. Marshal type thing, but that's basically what these guys are, and they call themselves Highwaymen. They're basically cops. But they're given special units, vehicles, like these trucks that have like 2 or 3 different types of functions and house like this large computer in it and shit. The main guy is Sam Jones. He's from, you might know him from the old Flash, 80s Flash movie. I'm talking about the one that goes into space, not the superhero. But anyways, he's a star of the show, and he's all right actor. He's not like the best, but he's not horrible. They only did 1 season of the show, which I could understand why. It was pretty cheesy. Like, the vehicles I mean, you could definitely tell they didn't go together with the trailer and shit. Or, you know, the back of uh, the back trailer, the diesel trailer or whatever. It didn't fit gel right. One you could tell was just a car that they kind of made look like a futuristic vehicle. And then the other one that he usually drove through most of the episodes was, you know, the front of a chopper or a helicopter, you know, which could separate from the vehicle and you could fly in the chopper. So it was kind of silly and goofy looking. The show was okay. It was more like, you know, a cop show where he goes and does some investigating and then goes after the bad guys. He's not supposed to have a partner, but apparently after a couple of episodes they gave him one. This Aussie guy or Australian named Jacko. I think his name was Jetto on the show or something like that. No, he was okay. He was kind of funny. Some Australian actors I'm okay with, and some I just they have this certain, you know, a type of accent sometimes that just drives me up the wall. English actors do that too. Some of them, like the accent just doesn't set right. It's a little off. It actually gets under my skin. It's on my nerves. I don't like listening to him. He kind of had that kind of accent, but it was okay because he did a lot of joking around, and I don't know. It was okay. It was expected, but the show was okay. It was all right. You know, it's worth a one-time watch. But it wasn't like spectacular or anything. So I understand why they canceled the show. They really couldn't get the views in anyway. Not a lot of people tuned in for it. I give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. If you like sci-fi and you like some of the old 80s stuff, it's worth a one-time watch, you know. It's not bad. Check it out if you want to. Okay, let's move on to your B-movie reviews. Okay, movieaholics, this week is Sci-Fi Week. And we're going to check out a couple older movies. They were both done in the 90s. You don't hear about these very much, so I'm not sure if you may have heard of them or not. They're pretty, you know, they're B-rated. So now the first one is called Freejack, and it was done in 1992. It starred Emilio Estevez and Rene Russo, and it only made about 17 million, so it didn't do all that great. It did okay, but it didn't do that great. I also had Anthony Hopkins and Mick Jagger in it, but like I said, it really didn't do all that well. And I don't know why, because I actually thought the movie was pretty decent. I thought it was a good movie. So the story is basically, in the future, people who, you know, get old, they have a chance to live on, kind of almost like, in a way, become immortal by transferring their consciousness into a young body. Now, the way they've gotten away with doing this is they will pick, they kind of form this time traveling device where they can pick a spot in time in the past where they know someone's going to die, and they will pluck them out of time just as they die and replace them with a fake body. So the body they send is already dead or fake, and then they get the real body. And then they replace that person with themselves. Emilio Estevez plays this guy who is going to die in like our time, and then he goes into the future, and then Anthony Hopkins plays the old man who wants his body because he's in love with Emilio Estevez's old girlfriend. Like they were a couple before he dies or whatever. And then in the future, after like 20 years or so, Anthony Hopkins falls in love with her. So he wants Emilio Estevez's body to kind of like surprise her, like, hey, you know, I look like your old boyfriend, your old flame. You can be in love with me now. Because she just works for him or some shit. Mick Jagger plays the guy who's trying to capture him. Because when Emilio Estevez shows up in the future, he's not supposed to be awake, but somehow he becomes awake and he escapes. So then, you know, Anthony Hopkins sends Mick Jagger after him to capture him. And it doesn't happen often, but apparently it does happen once in a while. And they call them, these people who, you know, escape, Freejacks. Hence the title of the movie. But anyways, towards the end, the process is done, but ass backwards. Like, they actually end up killing Anthony Hopkins, and Emilio Estevez, he stays in his own body. And he takes over the place of Anthony Hopkins, like his life, the old man. They think he's now him. And the only one who really knows, there's only two people who know who he really is, and that's Mick Jagger and Rene Russo. Like, Mick Jagger figures it out, you know, but doesn't say nothing. He gets it, so he lets him live. But anyways, that's the end of the movie. All ends well that was well. I think this movie's kind of a gem. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I gave it 2 thumbs up. Definitely, if you're a sci-fi buff, you should check it out. You like some action, adventure, sci-fi, this is definitely one of those movies you should check out. Alright, let's move on to your next one. The next one was done in 1999, and it is cheesy as fuck, dude. It stars some guy named Charles Wesley and some woman named Cassandra Ellis. I've never heard of these two actors. And it's called Mudercycle. Now, basically the story, the whole plot of the movie is this meteorite falls from space. Inside it was a alien organism or some shit. And this guy on this bike, he runs across it out in the middle of nowhere. There's supposed to be some military bunker or whatever that he doesn't even know about. And he runs across this meteor, and this alien life form or whatever attaches itself to him and turns him into this weird looking cyber looking motorcycle rider with little laser beams on the cycle, which he runs across some army dudes, and their ammo doesn't do jack shit to him, but he can hurt them. Now he'll shoot the lasers out of his cycle and he'll blow shit up or set it on fire, but when he shoots a person, it doesn't really hurt him all that much, except for one guy. Eventually, I guess he shoots him too much, he finally burns him to a crisp. But the rest of them that he ends up shooting, it don't do that to him. So it just made no sense. Anyways, apparently the CIA and is keeping at this bunker some type of UFO piece off a UFO craft or whatever, and it's kind of like a superconductor computer thing or whatever. It has all this data that they're trying to get out of it, and they haven't been able to do it. Well, this meteor, this other life form, was sent down and collected. Now you have this guy, I don't know, he lost some buddies in a war that, the CIA did some fucking shady shit to him. He's a sergeant, and he leads two other guys, two doctors, and the CIA agent. They go there to find out what's going on. They find out about this alien Murdercycle guy or whatever, and he's trying to kill him throughout the entire movie. The woman, the female doctor, she's supposedly psychic and could read minds and shit, and some other type of psychic abilities. She could touch objects and get flashes of something about the object historically or some shit. Same thing with people. She can also invade their minds. It's kind of like a form of psychic rape, but she don't see it that way because she can do it and they can't. Go figure. And then the other doctor, come to find out, he's CIA too, and he turns on him, and but things don't end well for him. Anyways, toward the very end, they blow up the cycle dude. He got the UFO piece, but they blow him and it up, and then they jump on this cycle with this other guy that happened to be hiding on the base. He's like a ufologist or some shit. UFOologist or whatever. Anyway, they took off with him at the very end, and you see like one of the pieces of the alien moving or some shit, and that's the end of the movie. Now this movie is really cheesy. Like I said, it's not that great. The acting is not real good. It is a full moon production, so there was no box office numbers on this one. It just went straight to video. A full moon had some decent ones, but they had some really cheesy bad ones too. This is definitely one of them. It wasn't a great movie, but it was watchable. It was weird because the cyclist dude, you know, he'd just show up at random and start, you know, shooting lasers at him or some shit, or he'd just ride back and forth and let the army dude shoot him constantly, which didn't do anything to him. Excuse me. Then he'd just disappear, like he was cloaked or something. It was weird. But that's literally the main part of the movie. They do that shit, and then they talk for a little bit, and then he'd show up again. They do that shit again for a couple minutes, and then, you know, that was pretty much the gist of the movie. So it was kind of lame. And they was out in the middle of nowhere, so it just, I don't know. I didn't care for it. You might like it. I gave it 2 thumbs down. It was not a good movie. Anyways, that's all I have for you this week. Tune in next week, and I'll have something different for you. If you can think of anything that's you think I may never have seen, some underrated B movie or some shit, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. If you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. So until next time, I told you be told the truth, and you just been told.